So this is the first session of Django with REST API. Okay, first we will focus on Django sessions, and after completion of Django, then we'll focus on REST API. Okay, so the time duration of this course is 2 months. From today onwards, it will take 2 months time to complete this Django with REST API. Okay. So Django with REST API compulsory, it will take 2 months of time duration, sir. Just give me 1 second. Yes. So time duration of this course is 2 months. First, we'll look into Django introduction, and once we complete Django, then we'll start with the REST API sessions. So first 45 days, our complete focus on Django only, including with projects also. And after completion of Django, then we'll start with REST API. Okay. Yes. So first of all, I would like to tell you, those who wants to learn Django and REST API, so I strongly recommend you should have the knowledge of Python. But is that required complete knowledge of Python? Means not required complete. At least you should be in a position to understand what is Python variable and what is Python function, how to define it, and what is object-oriented programming, classes and objects and constructors. Okay, data structures in Python. These minimum knowledge from Python side, it's required to learn Django. Why? Because Django framework is completely written in Python only. Django framework is completely written in Python, sir. That's the reason Django completely written in Python. That's the reason I strongly recommend to learn Python first before Django. At least you should be in a position to identify Python variables and functions and classes and object creation like that only. Okay, so this is mandatory. So if you don't have any basic knowledge of Python, so that you are not eligible to attend this Django with REST API sessions. I request you, before continue these sessions, you must and should aware of that at least basics of Python is required, because we are going to write complete code for Django web application development in Python only. Our script is completely in Python. Okay, our script is completely in Python only, sir. That's what I'm asking you to a prerequisite concept for Django is Python only. Okay. Now today we'll look into Django basic introduction first. So what is Django? How do we work with that? We'll discuss now. So first of all, Django is a web application framework. Django is a web application framework, sir. Web application framework. It is a framework completely. Framework means what? It provides some guidelines and it provides some built-in libraries. You have to use that built-in libraries in a application development. So it is completely web application development framework. Django is a web application framework. And what is Python? Python is a programming language which is used to write coding part for the application development. But Django is not a programming language. Django is not a programming language. It is a web application framework, we have to say that. So Django is used to develop web applications because it is a web application framework. No? So what purpose we use Django in the sense? Django is used to develop web applications. Web applications. Applications are different types of applications are there. In general, standalone applications or desktop applications are there that are product-based applications. and web applications or online applications are there that are distributed application. And in Python, we have seen already like console application, desktop GUI application kind of thing. But Django is used to design and develop web application only. That means online applications or distributed applications we can develop using Django framework. Okay. So Django framework completely written in Python programming language, sir. How Django framework was developed means Django framework completely written in Python programming language. It written completely in Python programming language, sir. That's what you must and should aware of that Python programming language before going to start with Django. If you know how to write Python script, then it will be easy to handle your Django framework code. So Django framework is completely written in Python programming language. Okay. So by using Django, we can develop web application with very less time. By using Django, we can develop web applications, web applications, web application with less time. So it is not going to be time taking process because maximum libraries or ready-made resources are available in Django framework. So they are going to give you a lot of framework libraries, built-in classes, built-in methods. Using that built-in classes, built-in methods, we can easily develop any web application with less time using Django framework. Okay, so Django is high level and open source. Django is a high level, high level, high level and open source, open source, open source Python based web framework. Open source Python based web framework, we can say that. Python based web framework. Because this framework is completely written in Python only. That's the reason we can say it is completely Python based web framework. It is high level, means in Django also for memory management purpose and security purpose, you need not to write any explicit code as a programmer. So it will take care internally everything memory management and security point of view. And it is completely open source. The source code of Django is completely open to all. And it's mainly Python based web framework, we can say that. Okay. So Django is having clear documentation, sir. Django is having clear documentation. Documentation. It's having clear documentation and it is follow the principle and it will follow principle. It will follow the principle. What is that? DRY. That means do not repeat yourself. It will follow the principle that is called DRY. DRY in the sense do not repeat yourself, we can say that. So do not repeat yourself means no repetition of the code. No repetition of the code. So one time you can write that code and use it many times in your application area where it is required. So this is kind of reusability mechanism. So it's having clear documentation and it will follow the principle called DRY, do not repeat it yourself. And most important thing is if you want to get the documentation of official documentation of Django web framework, so you have to visit official website www.django project.com website. How we have seen in my previous lectures while teaching Python. So we visit usually python.org. This is official website of Python. Same Django project.com is there. Even if you are going to discuss later REST framework after that Django completion. So Django hyphen REST framework.com website is there. So these are the official websites with respective subjects like Python, python.org. If you are looking Django documentation, you can go to this official website, djangoproject.com. And if you are looking REST API, so django-rest framework.com. Let's look into quickly once this sites clearly, www.python.org. You know very well about this Python site. So this is the official website of Python. Documentation is also there. You can able to watch this documentation for Python. At the same time, you can go to official website of Django, www.djangoproject.com website. Project.com website. So this is Django official project.com website. Here, clear documentation is there. The latest version is 4.0.6 only here. Okay, this is my latest version right now. But actually, in my previous example, previous sessions, I have started many batches of Django. But right now, I have Django software in my computer. But you can able to check also which version of Django software is available in your computer clearly by going to command prompt. So right now, this is latest version 4.0.6 only here. If you want to check the latest version, whether it in your computer Django is available or not, if it is available, which version of Django software is available, if you want to check, simply you can go to command prompt. To check Python version, you know already. So those who attend my sessions of Python space hyphen version. So I'm having Python latest version 3.10.5. And similarly, Django version, if you want to check, simply Django-admin. So hyphen version, we have to check. So what is the Django version we have? You can see this 4.0 version is there. This was the previous version when I was started my previous batch 1 month back. This was there, but now latest available version is Python 4.0 only. But there is a subversion is released like 0.6 only, 4.0.6 only. So these are the versions of Django, which version you are going to use. Current version available in my computer 4.0, but this version also we will download and install. So if you want to download latest release, you can click on download. Okay. Or else you can see documentation is there. Django documentation is there. No? You just click on this Django documentation. So there is lot of documentation is available for Django level. You can read this document and you can get the knowledge and you can implement your Django application by following this documentation efficiently. Same every Django REST framework documentation also officially available. Now you can see Django rest framework.org. This is REST framework website officially. So every subject, every course, it's having separate what we can say official website is available. You have to follow and you can able to read the documentation clearly. Okay. Voice is not. You can switch off your sounds, your audio, then you can able to avoid that echo completely. So my side, I'm not getting any echo. It's very clear for me. So this is python.org for Python official website. DjangoProject.com website is for Django, and Django REST framework official website is this is Django framework website. Now coming to this, it's most important here. Django is completely client server based architecture. Client server based architecture means what? As a client, we should send request to the server. Server will take responsibility to uh, provide the service to the client request only. So it is completely web application development means we have to depend on client server architecture only. So client will send request to the server. Server responsibilities, client request it will take and it will process the client request and send response to the client request only here. So this is Django completely client server based architecture. And most important thing is Django is completely based on MBT pattern, MBT design pattern. This is our main target. Django, Django, Django completely based on MBT. M stands for model, view stands for view, T stands for template. Okay, completely MBT design pattern. So we should focus in our Django implementation on MBT pattern only, sir. Model, view, template pattern only completely. So model represent database here. View represent Python logic like business logic code. template represent HTML template, means presentation layer. So I will explain you clearly why model, what is template, what is view exactly. This is completely design pattern. Okay. So Django, once we follow this MVT model view template, and Django will provide rapid application development facilities. Rapid application development facilities. Rapid application development facilities will provide once we follow this MVT pattern. Okay, MVT pattern. So model view template pattern it is. So first I would like to tell you that why model, what is view, what is template. In general, in every web application development, so user interface is required, that is front end is required and back end application also required. So that what I'm trying to do here, you can see, okay, so here I'm trying to draw a simple design, a simple diagram for easy to understand what is exactly this. So first of all, this is my user interface, sir. Consider this is a small user interface. User interface means where user can enter the details. Like I'm giving user name, okay, and then password, and after that, here I'm taking, just observe here, I'm taking one simple text box. This is design, username and password, and then after here, I'm taking one button control, simple button control. This is user interface. So this is login. Yeah. So this user interface in generally, we have to design with what actually? Django with HTML. Django with HTML. Okay, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, okay, jQuery, Bootstrap, all those things. Now, Django with HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript, we designed this template. Okay, so this is actually template, sir. This is actually what? Template. In model view template is this is on. But in this template, we have to enter username and password here. And whatever we entered username and password here, when we hit this login button, immediately it will connect to database. This means server only, database. So once I hit this login button, whether username and password is correctly available or not, in database we have to check. This is what actually database. At database side, Django server is available. Django server. So we are sending request to the server. Server will redirect to your database for checking username and password is correct or not. If username and password is correct or not, we have to check it. But here, what kind of database we are using, sir? Actually, whenever we prepare Django website, by default, a database will come that is called SQLite 3. It is our database, built-in database. But it doesn't mean that you should work always with built-in database only. No need to work with this built-in database like SQLite 3. You can also use MySQL database, Oracle database, or Microsoft SQL Server database. Any other databases also we can use. But by default, for the first time, when we create a Django new project, for every time new project, you will get one default database which is integrated with the Django project, that is SQLite 3. Assume that here our database is SQLite 3. Okay, so this is the database. So login button, when we hit, immediately it will connect to database, and Django server can redirect your request to database. It will check whether username and password is correct or not. If username and password is correct, then what will happen? You will get successful message like login success. If username and password is not correct, then you should say username or password is invalid. So, but how we can do this? Only we prepare template, means design. Okay, we have a database, means this is a model. This is model structure, model. In MBT pattern, this is the model. Now, where is the view logic? There is no logic. So logic code compulsory you should write inside the login button. Under this login button, you have to write what's a login functionality. This functionality should be write with logic code only. How to write logic code in Django applications? using Python script only, because Python is a programming language. Python logic we have to use. This is Python logic, sir. So Python logic is what actually view code actually. View logic, we can say that, view. So ultimately, you can say in model view template, Django is completely based on MVT pattern, design pattern, model view template. Three layers are involved in the development of Django applications. First one is model. This is represent database. Next, we view for view logic, that is Python logic. Python programming is required for this writing view logic. And a template is nothing but Django with template, HTML, CSS, JavaScript through we can design. This is design pattern, front end template only. So this is template, model, view, template. Three layers are involved. This is data access layer, we can call it as. And this is business access layer, we can call it as. View is business access layer. And template is nothing but presentation layer. Okay, model also called as what actually? Data access layer. Okay, and view is also called as what actually? Business access layer. Business access layer, actually. Business access layer, sir. View is also called as business access layer. Next, template is also called as what? Presentation layer. Why presentation layer, we can say? Because after executing, after sending request, Django server will give result or will render result to the client in a template format only. That is presentation layer only. So this is presentation layer. So hope you understand in Django what really we are going to do in our upcoming sessions. So we are going to involving all these three layers code. So this is very easy to implement once you understand the flow of Django application development. But initial days or beginning sessions, you may get somewhat complexity you feel, because we are going to discuss with many layers. But slowly, once you understand the flow, it will be easy for you to handle with the Django applications. So model, database related code you have to write, data access layer. Presentation layer, it is purely template. So HTML, CSS, JavaScript through, we have to create this template design format. And inside the design login button, you have to write some functionality. What functionality? When user entered username and password, that username and password is going to be correct or not. You have to connect with the database and check with database. For that, we have to write Python logic. So Python programming language must here for writing logic code. This is called view also, we can call it as. View means Python logic. Template means HTML template, CSS, JavaScript, including presentation layer. What we are going to see the end user in the website window. And the model means database access. Completely database connectivity code is there in this model. So this HTML, CSS, JavaScript with Python, this combination we can call it as what? Front-end application, we can say that. What applications are? Front-end application. Yes, exactly. Front-end application. Front-end application means the application where end user can see the output. So where end user can see the output in the browser memory, browser only. So from browser, you are sending request and we are getting response, and that response will display in the browser only. That is front-end application. And back-end application means completely SQL Server databases or SQLite 3 database. But this is actually backend application for Django. This is backend application here. But generally, Python is also a backend, we can call it as. For what this Python is backend for what? For this Django templates. For this template, who is backend? Python is a backend. Because Python script we will write behind the scenes of this template. So only Python is a backend for this template, but overall backend application is this is SQL Server, because it is behind the scenes, it will work for our front end application. So front end application and back end application always will communicate with each other, because we are sending request, and at the same time, what actually we are going to get response also. From front end, we are sending request, and back end, we are getting response. But this request and response will manage who will manage this request and response, in the sense Django server will manage this request and response. Who will manage request and response? Django server will manage. Why? Because Django is completely client-server architecture. Client-server architecture means from client we have to send request, means from browser. Whenever we send request to the server, server should respond for our request, and request should be processed at server side. A client request should be processed at server side, and server should give response to the client only. So request and response always managed in Django server through only. So when we send request, first request goes to Django server side. So server can identify with the help of URL patterns. Okay, URL patterns. Based on that URL pattern, it will redirect to view logic only. This view logic will execute and it will communicate with the database which is required for accessing data. And this data will send back to view, and view will give response to template, because finally we have to display result value in template only, that is presentation level. This is complete overview of model view template, what we are going to do in our upcoming session. Clear? Three layers are involving here. Model view template. Model means data access layer, completely database related stuff we have to write. View in the sense Python logic we have to write. This is business access layer. Template means we are going to design this template, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. For your kind information, after completion of 3 or 4 sessions, okay, first demo sessions once we completed with Django, next completely 1 week I will arrange the sessions of HTML plus CSS plus JavaScript plus jQuery, okay, jQuery plus Bootstrap, sir. These sessions I'm going to conduct. Why? Because especially in the project development of time of Django, we are going to involve in this HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap also. So every web developer must and should aware at least basics of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap. So these I'm going to cover. 1 week sessions I'll conduct in this all UI technologies. These are all, we can call it as UI technologies. We can say that UI technologies, user interface technologies. Generally, this is for templates only. So in our model view template pattern, MVT pattern, these UI technologies are most useful to design your template. Okay, template part completely should do with this UI technologies only. Now view part in the sense Python logic. Anyway, you know already Python, how to write Python script and Python functions and Python data structures, Python variables, everything you know that. So that is enough already. So Python is for view logic. This HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap is for template. But what is our model, sir? Model is for database only. But database basic knowledge you must and should require, like select command, insert command, delete command, update command. These are related to MySQL or related to SQLite 3. So I'll take care of database kind of things also, no worries at all. Because mostly we are going to spend a lot of time with the built-in database which is integrated with the Django project by default, that is called SQLite 3. And also we will do some projects on while connecting with MySQL database also in our sessions. MySQL database also we can cover in these sessions. So ultimately you should have the knowledge of UI and knowledge of database and knowledge of Python. These 3 areas, if you have a knowledge, then it will be easy to learn Django with REST API. And REST API is not a different, actually, it is a part of Django only. So REST means RESTful services, representational state transfer, API stands for application programming interface. So using our Django, then we can able to prepare some APIs also. APIs means communication mediums from one application to another application. That is API. Later I'll discuss about API. This is not right situation to discuss about API right now. So this is overview of Django completely. Now I'm going to discuss about some small history of Django. Why Django we can call it as, and who implemented Django, who are the original authors of Django. Django was designed and developed by Lawrence Journal World in 2003. In 2003, implemented by Lawrence Journal World in 2003 and publicly released under BSD license. Means BSD license in the sense Berkeley Source Distribution, we can call it as, in July 2005. Okay, official date of birth of Django is July 2005. This is released, first version. The original authors of Django are, okay, these are the authors of Django. Admin, sorry, what we can say, Adrian Alovati and Simon Willison. These are the original authors of Django. Python author is Guido van Rosa. He implemented Python. And Django authors are Hadrian Alovati, Simon Willison. And that the Django was introduced in the year of 2005. So released, first version released 21st July 2005. This is the official date of birth of Django. Okay. And the current stable version of Django is, already we have seen this. Current stable version of Django is 4.0.6. How do you know that? You have to visit this website, djangoproject.com website. If you visit, then you will able to find the current stable versions are 4.0.6 only. This version only I'm going to discuss in our complete upcoming sessions. Okay. And it's completely now Django software is completely maintained by DSF right now. DSF in the sense Django Software Distribution, Software Foundation. Okay, this is Django Software Foundation. This is going to be maintained completely Django. And Django pronounced as Django also. D is a silent completely. So sometimes we can call it as Django or Django. Any name we can pronounce. And the official website of Django is this is djangoproject.com. And why Django name came, okay, you know why Python came. Python name was derived from a TV show like Monty Python Circus Show. Okay, but Django is a name of George guitarist, famous George guitarist. That guitarist name is called Django, Django Reinhardt, we can say that. Django Reinhardt is the person, okay, who is the famous George guitarist here. So let's go and call this in Google so that you will be able to get the profile of his history completely. So let's copy and paste it Django Reinhardt. So you'll be able to get this famous guitarist person name. You can see Django Reinhardt. So this is the person name they have taken and has given for this web development framework that is called Django Reinhardt only. That's the reason we are going to call this name is called Django. There is no meaning of Django here. This is the person name simply here. Okay. And what are the important features of Django here? So we have seen Python features, same we have to look forward for Django features also. So these are common features which is available in our IT industry for every web development. So what is the main feature in the sense rapid development is possible. Rapid development in the sense faster rate of development of application is possible. So Django was designed with the intention to make a framework which takes less time to build a web application. That is rapid application development. And coming to this secured actually here. Secure. Django takes security and helps developer to avoid many common security mistakes such as SQL Server injection attacks, cross-site scripting, or cross-site request forgery like CSRF tokens we use while developing Django applications. So your code is secured and there is no cross-site request forgery will happen while working with Django because we have so much of tokens are there, security tokens. And Django is having a feature called scalable. Scalable in the sense Django is scalable in nature and it is having the ability to quickly and flexibly switch from small application to large scale application easily with Django. That is called scalability. Flexibility in switching off small scale application to large scale applications. And Django is having fully loaded features. Fully loaded means, as I said, that Django is completely web application development framework. Framework in the sense collection of libraries. By default, so many built-in classes will come and built-in functionalities available. Using that built-in classes and functionality, we can easily implement the Django applications. It's fully loaded. Django includes various modules and libraries which can be used to handle common web application tasks. Django takes care of user authentication and content administration and so on. And completely, Django is completely versatile. Versatile in the sense ever. Python also versatile, obviously, and Django also versatile. So which is allow you to build application for different domains. So nowadays, so many companies are using Django to build various types of applications such as content management system, so, social networking sites, and shopping sites. Okay, scientific computing platforms, and etc. So this is completely versatile. Using Django, we can able to develop different domain kind of application. And as I said, that completely Django is open source Python based web development framework. So Django is an open source web application framework. It's publicly available without any cost. It can be downloaded with source code from public repository, and open source reduces the total cost of your application development. And also it's having vast and supported communities there. Supported communities there worldwide. So we can able to interact with that community for making Django applications well. So Django is one of the most popular web framework current trends. It is having widely supportive community and channels to share your content to them, and you can exchange your content from them also. So this is about basic features, and this is a small history of Django and Django introduction, and why we are going to learn Django to develop web applications. And to learn Django, what are the prerequisites are important means Python is mandatory, and HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap is basics are mandatory, and database basic knowledge is mandatory, like how to connect with the database, how to retrieve the data from database, how to insert and delete, update. All these basic operations are mandatory. So because we are involving, once we start Django project development, so we will involve in three areas: model, view, template. Model means database knowledge is required. View means Python logic is required. Template means HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap knowledge is required. So hope you understand our main intention of this MBT pattern with Django. What is Django clearly in this session? So that's all from my side today, just basic demonstration. And tomorrow we'll continue with what is web application, what is front end, back end in detail I'll discuss. Then immediately we'll start creating Django project, how to install, how to set up of Django, and all these things we'll discuss in upcoming sessions. So if you have any questions related to this, then you can feel free to ask me now. I'll give you answer clearly. And moreover, according to my sessions, only Django with 2-3 projects, 45 days is required. After that, 15 or 20 more days are required to cover REST API also. This batch is completely Django with REST API. Okay, once you enroll for this batch, you will able to attend for Django sessions and REST API. Every day session is going to be record. Even today's session also recording right now. And same recording session video I will send to your Google Drive. That videos can be downloadable and lifetime access. And along with that videos, you will get clear PDF. Okay, so let me show you the PDF. Django PDF is there. Clear picture I prepared. What should do, what should not do in your Django application implementation. You can see total 308 pages PDF documentation is there. This is only for Django, and even REST API also clear PDF is there. If you watch this PDF, if you go through this PDF, undoubtedly you will not get any confused, because that much of caring I'm taking while preparing this PDF. Each and every step I involved in this PDF. Same PDF you will be able to get to your mail once you enroll for this course. Even REST API PDF also is clearly maintained here. So this is completely my own documentation which I prepared while taking many sessions, many batches, my previous sessions. I prepared documentation for my students. So this I'm going to share to you people clearly once you enroll for this course. Okay, those who are already attending my Python sessions, you people know that because you received core Python and advanced Python PDF also. How it was, same thing, Django REST API is there with clear picture, no doubt at all. So that's all from my side, and tomorrow we'll continue from here onwards. If you have any question, feel free to ask me now. Mr. Aditi Kumar, Amit, Gangadhar, Harihara, SK Javed. Yeah, you people are, I think, not my students of Python, and rest of them all are my students only. Mostly they don't have any queries. And those who are not my students, if you have any queries, you can feel free to ask me, sir. My student means they're attending Python sessions of mine. Any questions? I'll wait here for 2 minutes more. You can type your question in chat box also if you are unable to ask. Yeah, every day class notes, not at a time. I will share the Django complete documentation. You can also practice for forward also. No need to wait for my sessions. Are you getting my point? Completely. Demo sessions oddly or 2 or 3. That's it. You can consider this is my first session. Demo is for you people. Okay. Yeah, you if you enroll, it's okay, no problem at all. You will first we complete 3 days demos. After 3 days, once I collect your mail ID from DurgaSoft, okay, officially. So once I receive your mail ID, so you will keep on getting the videos and material continuously. That's completely clear. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just leaving now. Thanks for attending this session. Hope we'll continue tomorrow session also. You can join on the same link for 5 days this week. No issues. And later you can decide. No problem. Django, JS, etc, Python will make it full stack. Yeah, obviously full stack. In my next online batch will be full stack. In that core Python, advanced Python, Django framework, HTML, CSS, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap, and MySQL basics, and Flask framework I'm going to introducing in my next upcoming full stack online batch. Okay. But you have already Python and UI technologies and MySQL knowledge, then you can consider this is full stack development. No, in this course, we are not covering Flask. I'm extremely sorry for that. Okay, in my next upcoming online batch is there. Okay, there is no slot for me. I am waiting for empty slot. Once I get that empty slot anytime, I'm announcing new batch of online Python full stack. But in this, there is no Flask I'm going to cover. Only Django with REST API and Django with projects also. When I announce Flask, then again I will allow you without cost, with freely. You, if you are my students, I will allow all my students with free cost, free of cost only for first batches. Don't worry about that. No need to pay anything for Flask. Once I started Flask, I'll intimate to you all my students only. Yes, obviously that is quite natural because hundreds of students are there, my old students. I'll also intimate them to join my Flask sessions when I started. You need not to worry that. But it may take time. Okay, not on the flow along with this batch. Okay. Yeah, I hope you understand clearly what I'm trying to say. Good. Yeah, see you tomorrow at same time on same link. Have a nice time.